George Kirby was blending up the Astros when he was hit by a baseball. A Mariners fan threw a baseball from foul territory all the way to the mound and hit George Kirby. We'll talk about that later on. We had a relief pitcher refuse to come out of the game. It was kind of weird because Gabe Kapler, the manager, he was laughing, but the pitcher, John Brebbia, he was not happy at all. Ellie De La Cruz hit a baseball 470 feet. That was the second home run of the night, so the slump might finally be over. And the Yankees, they literally have the wrong rookie playing shortstop, Oswald Peraza. He's making it look easy out there. Now, just a reminder, MLB Recap is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off on tickets, and also use code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy for a $500 deposit match. Now, before we talk about the teams that made the playoffs yesterday, as well as the Orioles game, I have to say rest in peace to Brooks Robinson. He's an MVP, a World Series MVP, an 18-time All-Star. He was known as the human vacuum because he had 16 gold gloves over the course of his career. He nearly racked up 300 defensive run saves. That is 300 DRS. He is widely considered to be a top 3 defensive player ever, up there with Andrew Jones, Ozzie Smith, and a couple other guys. Let's see if the Orioles can pick up a W for Brooks. Now, two dudes won this game for Baltimore. Rookie Gunnar Henderson, he leads all rookies with 28 home runs. He also has an insane 12 defensive run saves on the season. He's without a doubt the AL Rookie of the Year. Now, we all know that Garrett Cole is most likely going to win the Cy Young, but this Kyle Bradish fella, he could steal some votes from Garrett. He shoved for 8 shutout innings. He allowed just 3 base hits the entire night. He now has a 2.86 ERA on the season, which is very impressive. I still have Garrett Cole winning, but shout out to Kyle Bradish for really cementing himself as the Baltimore ace. Yennier Cano, he struck out the side. He has 8 saves and a 2.1 ERA. We'll see if the Rays won or lost in just a second, but we got to see if the Phillies could clinch a playoff spot. Now, nothing happened over the first 5 innings because both Mitch Keller and Aaron Nola, they were stingy, but Philly, they finally broke through on a Brandon Marsh big fly. He has 11 home runs and a 122 OPS plus. Bryce Harper lifted a clutch sac fly a few moments later, and it was clutch because Brian Reynolds tagged a mammoth home run off of Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola, he was still sick though. Aside from that home run, he struck out 8 Pirate hitters. He was really good, only 1 run allowed. Craig Kimbrell, he was removed from the closing role, which means that he can now blow leads in the 8th inning instead of the 9th. Sorry. Rookie Henry Davis, he pummeled a game-tying home run. He's got 2 home runs and 4 RBIs over his last 4 games. So we head to the 10th inning where Philly, they have runners on for the rookie and defensive wizard Johan Rojas, who walks it off. He's hitting .305 with 14 stolen bases and 14 defensive run saves in 56 games. The kid was built to be a menace. The Phillies, they clinch a wild card spot. They have made the playoffs. Texas is trying to clinch first place in the AL West, but look at the Angels playing spoiler yesterday. They said, yeah, our season's over, but we ain't done fighting just yet and being annoying. Brandon Jury, he's been insane for back-to-back seasons. He had 61 extra base hits and 87 RBIs in 138 games last year. He has 55 extra base hits and 80 RBIs in just 121 games this year. Now, the Angels, they ran it up to 9 runs on a ton of sac flies and bad baseball from the Rangers. Michael Stefanik, he knocked in the final 2 runs, and Reed Detmers, he took care of the rest. I noticed he owns the Rangers for his career, and I wanted to take the higher on his strikeouts on Underdog. Reminder to use code Fuzzy for $500, but I'm mad I didn't. I did not take the over. He struck out 7 over 7 innings. He worked around 4 walks to allow just 1 run all night. So the Rangers got beat up, and this is Houston's chance to get within a half game of first place. Not 1 game, a half game of the Rangers. Seattle, they got to break early with Altuve's mental mistake. You got to hold the ball. I know he's going to make the Hall of Fame and all that, but you got to know when to just eat it and not allow free runs like that to score. J-Rod lifted a sac fly. It stayed 2-0 until the 5th, when another error allowed the Mariners to score a few more. The Mariners, they went at 5 after those singles from Cal Raleigh and Teoscar Hernandez. Now, staying with Teoscar, look at that grab in right field. He saves George Kirby from at least 1 run. And by the way, this George Kirby kid, he's already one of the best big game pitchers in baseball. Like, this was a playoff game, and every single playoff type game he's been in, he's been lights out. 6 shutout in this one. He didn't even let this moment phase him. Yes, you saw that right. Your eyes do not deceive you. A random baseball came out of nowhere to hit him while he was on the bump, and a Seattle fan is the one that threw it, and then his mom chewed him out. I mean, that's kind of funny, but what are you doing? Hope it was worth getting banned for life, kid. Ty France, he socked one, and the Mariners, they pick up a game on both the Astros and the Rangers, so the Rangers are now 3 games back of first place in the AL West, but they're only a half game back of that final wild card spot, so if Seattle wins tonight and Houston loses, they will be kicked out of the playoffs. Talking about the Astros. Remember how Baltimore was carrying carried by two different guys. The same thing happened in this Padres game. Juan Soto, he homered not just once. By the way, real quick, after Soto hit that solo home run, Gabe Kapler, he took out John Brebbia, who was like refusing to come out. There was smiles all the way around. I don't understand what was happening. It was really, really awkward. Anyway, later in the 7th, Soto smashed a 2-run home run to give Seth Lugo a nice little lead to work with. Soto, he's put the Padres on his back in the month of September. He's hitting .360 with 10 home runs and 28 RBIs in 23 games. Seth Lugo, the former relief pitcher for the Mets, he nearly tossed a complete game shutout. He was 1 out away. Lugo's transition from relief pitcher to starting pitcher has been seamless, just like Michael King of the Yankees. We'll talk about him later on in the video. I wonder if that's going to happen more often, where you get a nasty relief pitcher and you build him up to be a starter. Lugo struck out 7, allowed just 3 base hits, but he threw 123 pitches. So yeah, his arm has been built up. Josh Hader, he was ready and well rested. He struck out the final hitter. He has 32 saves now. So again, the Giants fully imploded. They went 19-31, 12 games under 500 over their last 50 games. They're kicked out. San Diego's late season push has kept them alive, and they need a lot to happen for them to make it. They need the Reds, the Marlins, and the Cubs all to lose. We'll talk about the Cubs game after this one, because the Reds and the Guardians almost scored 20 combined runs. Bo Naylor hit a 3-run home run. He's hitting .333 with 6 home runs over his last 25 games. But here comes the Reds. Former Cleveland backstop Luke Maile, he went yard, and after Spencer Steer got it within 1 on a triple. Spencer Steer, he rakes. He's a rookie who absolutely rakes. CES, another rookie, Christian Encarnacion Strand, he destroyed a baseball. He has a home run in 3 consecutive games and 7 home runs over his last 14. What is going on? Cole Calhoun, he grabbed the lead right back on a 2-run home run. Andres Jimenez, he has 15 home runs now. And now what? Okay, Ellie, I guess he's going to break out of his slump now. A 420-foot moonshot for his first of the night. And then later on, there's an RBI single. And Luke Maile, he torched his former team again. That 2-run single ends a big 3-run 5th inning for the Reds, and they snatched the lead right back. And before we show Ellie's 470-foot moonshot, TJ Friedl, he has a home run in 4 consecutive games. He now has 18 home runs, 26 stolen bases, and a near .360 on base percentage with amazing defense in center field. Ellie De La Cruz, he showed us what a perfect home run in real life looks like. 470-foot 3-run tank job. He's got 33 extra base hits and 33 stolen bases in 94 games. So even though he's been slumping, that's insane. That's a massive win for the Reds, who now need the Cubs to take an L versus the mighty Braves. And that was a rough start for Reds fans, because they watched the Cubs storm out to a huge 4-0 lead after Seiya, he tripled in both Nico Horner and Cody Bellinger. Bellinger then added to it with an RBI single, and before you knew it, the Cubs, they were up 6-0 in the 6th inning. And if it sounds like I'm setting up something terrible, it's because I am. Kevin Pillar, there's a solo home run. He has back-to-back games with a home run. Matt Olson, there's an RBI single. Marcelo Zuna, there's an RBI double. And now Ronald, he's coming up with the runner on in the 7th, so naturally he went yard. Ronald's 2-run home run was his 41st home run of the season. He has a few more games to get 2 stolen bases for MLB's first and probably only 40 season that's ever going to happen in the history of baseball. Atlanta, they got a bunch on in the 8th, but that fly out is going to end the... No, Seiya. He's been carrying the Cubs on his back in 2 score on that botched fly ball. Raisel Iglesias, he struck out 2 in the 9th inning to earn his 31st save. The Cubs, I cannot believe they lost that ball game. Now, because of that Cubs L, the Brewers, they clinched a playoff spot no matter what, even though they literally lost yesterday. Rookie Jordan Walker, he was flying out there in the outfield for the Cardinals. That was a 10% catch probability, and he made the grab. Another rookie, Richie Palacios, he smoked a 2-run double. And then Tommy Edman, he went yard to make sure that Miles Michaelis could really cruise in this one. Miles Michaelis went 7 innings with 5 strikeouts, only allowed 1 earned run on the day. Ryan Helsley, he continues to be insane. He struck out the side. He has 13 saves, but the Brewers don't care. They made the playoffs. They clinched the NL Central, I think, for the 3rd time in the last 6 years. So Milwaukee clinches. The Cubs lose a game in the wild card standings. We'll give a full update after we show this avalanche down in Arizona. Not very often does it snow in Arizona, but yeah, there was a full-blown avalanche. That's the only way to describe this game. The Snakes, they scored 15 runs. Eloy Jimenez, he had a pretty decent start for the White Sox. He had a 3-run home run. Christian Walker, he then went yard, and then Eloy singled in his 4th RBI of the night. Now, I say all of that because Christian Walker, he stepped up later on with the bases loaded, and he matches Eloy Jimenez. It ain't tied no more. Christian Walker, he clears the bases. He has 4 RBIs, just like Eloy Jimenez. Wait, scratch that. Make it an insane 6 RBI night for Christian Walker. He has now set a career high with 71 extra base hits, 103 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, a 120 228 OPS plus, and 9 defensive run saves. Like, look at these names. Since 2008, here are the primary first basemen to ever have 30 plus doubles, 30 plus home runs, 100 plus RBIs, and 9 plus DRS in a single season. He might be the most underrated player in baseball. Like, those are prime Anthony Rizzo numbers. Ketel Marte has 25 home runs. Geraldo Perdomo legged out a 2-run 3-bagger. So with that demolition job, Arizona puts another game between them and the Cubs for that second place wildcard spot. And because the Cubs lost, they're only a half game ahead of the Marlins and 1.5 game ahead of the Reds. Tampa Bay is trying to stay right there with the Orioles in the AL East. They're not out of it just yet. They're going to make the playoffs no matter what, but they really want to win the AL East. Rookie phenom and super prospect Junior Caminero, he laced his first career extra base hit and RBI double to start the scoring. Josh Lowe, he brought home Caminero, and then Manuel Margot, he grabbed a few RBIs on some singles in the first and third inning. Staying in the third inning, where did the Rays find these guys? Catcher Rene Pinto almost went 430 feet on that 2-run home run. He has 6 home runs in his first 94 at-bats this year. Now, Boston, they made things interesting later on. Rookie Emmanuel Valdez, he has a 6 swing. He put a charge into that one, a 3-run home run. And then another rookie, Wilyer Abreu, he plated 2 more on a double. This kid is hitting 371 with 13 RBIs in his first 23 games. Justin Turner, he made it a 1-run game. The near 39-year-old phenom has 53 extra base hits and 96 RBIs. Now, the Rays, they got a few runs back, one on a ground out and then another on a Jonathan Aranda RBI single. I don't know who that is, but Valdez, he secured a 4 RBI day for the Red Sox on a double in the 8th, but Boston, they couldn't play spoiler. Pete Fairbanks was Pete Unfairbanks again. He struck out 3 en route to earning his 25th save. So the Rays, they stay 2.5 games back at first place, and there's just 4 games left. I don't know who Michael King thinks he is, but it is not supposed to be this easy to just become a starting pitcher out of thin air. Like, he started some games in the minor leagues, but he's been him as a relief pitcher, and to go up against the Jays and hold him to 1 hit over 6 shutout, like, that's not supposed to even be possible. Now, before we talk about how insane Michael King has been, look at this play from Oswald Peraza in the 5th inning. He should be the shortstop, not Anthony Volpe. Volpe does not have the arm of Peraza. I think that Volpe should play second base or third base. I don't know, but Peraza is so sick out there. Now, over Michael King's last 34 innings as a starter, he is 47 strikeouts and a stupid 1.05 ERA. He was facing off against Kevin Gausman, who has been an elite starting pitcher for years. Gausman, his final start of 2023 was a gem. 3 hits over 7 shutout. He ends his season with a pretty good 3.16 ERA and a very impressive 237 strikeouts and a disgusting 2.97 FIP. The score was 0-0, and it's no longer 0-0 because rookie Austin Wells, he changed that on 1 swing. Back-to-back games with a 2-run home run. He has 3 home runs over his last 5 games. 2024 could be a lot of fun if Volpe keeps improving and Peraza and Wells, they keep building on their success lately. All right, let's get this doubleheader out the way, shall we? Chris Bryant knocked in the game's first run on a double, and Colorado ended up with 3 in the first against the Dodgers. Chase Anderson has suddenly become prime Greg Maddux. 5 shutout frames, 4 strikeouts against the Dodgers. He has a 1.47 ERA over his last 3 starts, and those were against the Giants, the Padres, and the Dodgers. Nolan Jones, he continues to make me depressed as a Cleveland fan. We joke about it, him and I, but I'm super happy that he's getting playing time. He's got 19 home runs, 17 stolen bases, and he leads baseball with 18 outfield assists. I didn't even know that number was real. 18 assists? The Rockies win game 1, and the Dodgers took that personally. Now, not gonna lie, I'm gonna skip a few runs. Sorry, Dodgers fans, but Freddie Freeman, he connected on a 2-run home run later on in the game, and of course, he went left center because he has some of the easiest opposite field power I've ever seen, and it blows my mind that Freddie is hitting 333. He's the first baseman ever with 200 base hits, 20 home runs, and 20 stolen bases in a season. He's not even going to finish top 2 in MVP. He's also 2 doubles away from the first 60 double season since your grandfather was born back in 1934. Rookie Bobby Miller, he pitched angry. I want to show all of his 9 strikeouts because he was tossing 100 miles an hour like it was nothing. He could be special if he finds a way to really limit the walks and home runs, but I guess that comes with the territory of throwing 1 billion miles an hour. The Dodgers, they win 11-2. They pick up their 97th W of the year. That is the 3rd most in baseball, just behind the Orioles and the Braves. Another team that put up an 11th spot, the Minnesota Twins. Matt hit one over the wall. See what I did there because his last name is Wallner? Sorry, but yeah, Matt Wallner, he hit one 465 feet. That was a mammoth grand slam. He's still a rookie, by the way. He has 13 home runs and a near 140 OPS plus. Bailey Ober, it's got to be terrifying to face this guy. He punched out 8 Oakland A's hitters over 5 shutout frames. Look how big he is. He's 6'9", 270. He has a 3.4 ERA over his last 193 innings, so that is very good as a 5-starter going into October. Alex Kirilloff, he's got 11 home runs and a 126 336 OPS plus. Catcher Christian Vasquez, he really embarrassed Oakland. A 3-run base clearing double. Mind you, this was without Royce Lewis. This was without Carlos Correa. They're kind of the NL version of the Brewers. Watch the heck out for them because they're sneaky. Zach Greinke and Reese Olson were both pretty good last night. Greinke, he got the best of Reese Olson though. Zach Greinke tossed 5 shutout frames. He ended up with 5 strikeouts as well. He only allowed 1 hit, hello, but as soon as he left, Spencer Torkelson, he tied it on a double. Back-to-back games with a double and 2 RBIs. He's up to 64 extra base hits and 90 RBIs. The score is knotted up at 2-2 when Akil Baddoo, the bad man, no BS, went 879 feet. That was one of the furthest home runs I've seen from him. A go-ahead pimp job, and look at Parker Meadows making it back-to-back home runs. Detroit, they ended up with 6 runs. As Kansas City, they blow Greinke's best start of the season. They lose 6-3. Before we do today's Immaculate Grid, a quick update on the stat leaders in baseball. Esteury Ruiz, he's only 3 stolen bases behind Ronald Acuna Jr. And look at this. Over Esteury's last 16 starts, he's got 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, and 16 stolen bases while hitting .333. Esteury, he could be a problem in 2024. All right, today's Immaculate Grid, I'm not going to worry about my rarity score because the Red Sox and the Cardinals, I'm going to go John Lester. Hopefully people remember that he was on the Cardinals. All right, 8%. That's actually a pretty decent start. 200 base hits for the Cardinals. I could go with Stan the Man Musial. I'm pretty sure that he had 200 base hits. Yeah, 25%. Hall of Fame for the Cardinals. Pujols is not in just yet, but that's got to go with, let's go Bob Gibson. Or can I think of anyone else? No, I'm going to go Bob Gibson just because respect to this guy. A Red Sox and a Tiger. A Red Sox and a Tiger. I'm going to come back to that one because no one's coming to my head right now aside from Porcello. Actually, Porcello, Rick Porcello, look at him, 15%, 200 base hits in a season for the Tigers. Ty Cobb, all right, we're going with some big names in this one. Hall of Fame for the Tigers. Miguel Cabrera has not made it yet. Justin Verlander, he's not going to go in. Is Justin Verlander going to go in as a Tiger or an Astro? Hall of Famer for, why can't I think of anyone? Harmon, Hal Newhouser. I'm going to go Hal Newhouser just because he's the only big name coming to my head. 5%, a Red Sox and a Giant. What was that guy's name? Cody Ross. I'm pretty sure he was on both teams. 200 base hits for the Giants. Did Buster Posey. Okay, we have Willie Mays, Buster Posey. I'm trying to think of, I don't know if Buster Posey ever had 200 base hits. I think because he was a catcher, he didn't play every single game. I'm going to go with Willie Mays, the Say Hey kid. Willie Mays, please. 74%. Wow, my Raider score got cooked on that one. And then Hall of Fame for the Giants. There's Willie McCovey. I could go with, who's some other? Willie McCovey. There's Willie Mays, but I already used Willie Mays. There's a bunch of other guys. You can't go Barry Bonds. I guess I'll go with Willie McCovey. I'm probably missing out on a lot of other guys, but there you go. If you guys enjoyed today's recap, do me a favor, leave a like and click that subscribe button because it really helps out the channel. And also a reminder, use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off on SeatGeek, and also $500 is being given as a deposit match if you use code Fuzzy on Underdog Fantasy.